Hey guys, welcome back to the second video. So this will be our video, well, one of many videos probably. So this video is we're going to talk about the Cloud Firestore. What is the Cloud Firestore? A little bit different. As I mentioned, we've dealt with the real-time database. So let's go. First thing is go out to Firebase. Make sure that you have a Google account or it will not work. So we'll go to get started. And so as you see here, I say the first thing that you want to do is you want to create a new project. Start from scratch, new project. Now I have an existing project, but we'll just, I'll start from scratch. I'll create a new project. I'll call it something. I'll call it employees. You know what? I will call this wine employees. Perfect. And I'll click continue. Don't enable this. Just keep it unchecked and I'll create project. So this would be the first step that you want to do is create your new project, get your new environment built up as we start getting into the Cloud Firestore. So as I mentioned, Cloud Firestore is a way to store data in collections or store data in documents that is organized in different collections. So it's almost like a filing cabinet that you have all this information. So let's continue. So Firebase, some of the Firebase Firestore essentials. So just naming some of them is it syncs the data across all devices. You have full support offline modes, comprehensive set of security rules. It's easy to use for data browsing tool. It's real time and or manually fetch data. Which we'll show you a way to manually add data, and then we'll show you a way to automatically add data. Powerful database infrastructure. It's a multi-region data replication. It has a strong consistency, and it also provides multiple document transactions. So those are some of the positives there. So we created the Firebase project for starters. So now what we want to do is create a Firebase database. The last time we did a real-time database right here. And we're going to create a Cloud Firestore. So click on Cloud Firestore and click on Create Database. Now you're going to get this option here if you want to do production mode or test mode. We're going to create it in production mode and click Next. And you have to choose a location where you want it at. You can choose wherever. I've been choosing US East 1 for now. Doesn't matter. And I'll again enable that. Wow, that's taking some time. There we go. All right, before we get really started with this, let's go over to rules. And we'll talk about this toward the end as our last thing to do. I'll zoom this in so you guys can see what the heck it is. So right now it says allow read, write if false. We're just going to change that around temporarily so that we can play around with it. So I'm going to come right here in backspace and I'm going to do a semicolon here and click publish. And what we're doing here is we're allowing us to go ahead and read them right. It tells us that, hey, this is going to be a problem. Right now, I don't really care because it's a way to get us started. So that's the first thing that we want to do right now. Now we want to go out and grab our data to get us started. And but before we do that, let's build an environment. So let me go into terminal. And let's see here, pwd. I already have something going here, so let's go back. And let's see where we're at. Apps. And we're in documents. Let's go into apps again. Okay. All right, we have a bunch of things. So right now I'm going to create a new directory. And I suggest you do the same thing. So I'm going to create a new directory. And I'm going to call this, what I call wine employees. Perfect. CD into wine employees and clear my screen. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over on my other screen. I'll bring it back a second here. So I'm going to go out to GitHub. So go out to my GitHub account, which is this right here. I'll put it on the screen in a second here. So let's do this real quick. So this is my GitHub address. And let's make this super big. So that's my GitHub account. Go there, which I'm here. And go into repositories. And choose NoSQL Firebase module. So you'll see here is just a shell code here. So I'm going to click on code, and I'm going to click on this URL right here. Okay, I am going to bring this back right here, because you know that we have nothing here. So then I'm going to do a git clone. And then I'm going to put app right here. So what it does is it creates a folder called, a subdirectory called app, and all our code goes in there. And so now it clones it. If I do an ls, there we go. We have a file. So let me pull a screen here. And let's go to documents. Let's go to apps. Where's my wine employees at? Oh, there we are. Wine employees, and you see app, and we have that. Perfect. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is, I told you to get Visual, you could use Atom, but I'm going to use Visual Studios. I'm going to start using Visual Studios moving forward, but anyways, let me get a new window. And whoops, try to bring them over here. All right, so this is Visual Studios. Visual Studios used to be my favorite editor, and I started using Atom, but I miss Visual Studios, at least the window version of it, but this will be fine. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do open workspace, and I'm going to come in documents. I'm going to come over to my apps here. Where is my apps? All right, there we go, apps. I'm going to choose wine employees, and then app, and then open. All right, oh, what the heck? Open. Okay, I know why I did that. So wine employees, app. There we go. I just did it wrong. There we go. Close this out. Ain't worry about this stuff. All right, so now we have these files here. As you see here, we have a filter. These are already programmed. I'm trying to save you guys some time. And what we'll do is we'll just add stuff to it. So you see here we have just some code. We have a script. Like I said, all this is pre-programmed. So like, just to kind of give you guys an example, when you guys do your assignment, you're going to create your own. So you're going to have to go back and here and modify all this stuff. And then we have our style. So this is all programmed for you to get started, but we still have to add data to it and so forth. So one of the things that we're going to do right off the bat is we're going to create another file here, and it's what am I talking? What word language is that? It's going to be called initial. It is called initialize. So I'm going to do initialize.js. There you go. So now we have this initialize file that we'll use in our script. This will be a way that we use to load our data. Maybe for the first time, we'll throw some test data in there or whatever. All right, so we got our code up in Visual Studios. That's good. So let's actually run what we have just to see what it looks like. Now you can open from review and Finder here if you have it. I thought I seen it in there. Review and Finder, yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open in Chrome right here. Perfect. Employees dashboard. I'm going to change that name around though. But right now we have no data, and that's fine. I don't really care about any of that. Click on new employee. None of this is going to work. There's just nothing there. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to index, And right here, I'm gonna call it wine employees. Perfect. Save that. Boom. There you go. Wine employees dashboard. Now you see we have this color up here. We have it green, and that's just our style. We can change that to something else. That's completely up to you guys. And the thing is, when you guys actually start playing around with this a little bit, you can do whatever you want to do. That's fine. All right. So we have that going. I think the next thing that we're going to do is add some data to our initialize JS script just to get us started. Okay. All right. So I take a little break. All right. So we're going to go over initialize, and this will be our, what is this here? All right. Sorry. Go over initialize, and this will be our data that we add for the initializer. But we need to initialize, let me write it here. If I just zoom in here so you guys can see. So let's put initialize Firestore database. All right, so we're gonna set up a variable and we're gonna call DB for database equals, equals the Firebase dot Firestore. And then we're going to do a var, a variable, employees reference equals database.collection, and we will call this collection employees. Okay. So this is going to be a collection that we use in our table. So we'll have our collection, which will be employees, and then we'll have something that describes each of those employees, which we'll do here, and then each description of those employees is kind of like a relational database. You have a table, and then you have field names to follow it, and that's kind of what this is. So think of this reference employees. Well, employees is would be considered the schema. When we do a reference to a document, that will be almost like the table. Okay, so some of our test data here. So we'll add some new employees. And this will be a one-time thing, and then we'll actually comment this out. So we'll do employee ref, and we'll do doc, and this is where we'll put the reference. So what we're going to have is in our table we'll have a first name and last name. So we're going to give a first initial and last name, and that'll be a key reference. So once again, it'll be like a reference from one table to another, and I'll explain that in a moment. Okay. So another popular person right now is Mr. Tomlin. So we'll put Mike Tomlin, and we'll do dot set, and we'll do that. And then we'll put, what we're going to do here is we're going to take the names that we have, which we can actually go over to scripts instead. So we have F name, L name, email. We're going to use those references in here. Okay. So we'll have first name, like this, F name. Actually, we'll call it F name, and then we'll give it a name. So it'll be Mike, and there'll be comma, and then we'll do last name, and then we'll call it Tomlin. And we'll do comma, we'll give it an email, and then we'll give it a value. Just like that. And then we will have age. Don't know how old Mike Tomlin is. Alexa, how old is Mike Tomlin?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Fixia.com, bipolar rapport whirlpool tub is 28 years old but seldom used.
Alexa, how old is Mike Tomlin?
Mike Palmer is 59 years old.
Alexa, how old is Mike Tomlin from the Pittsburgh Steelers? All right. All right, Alexa, stop. Wow, that took a lot. She's telling me Mike Tomlinson. All right. He's 54. That's older than I expected him to be. Perfect. So, we'll put 54, comma, And the reason I put it like that because it's going to pick it up as a whole number, so we should be fine. Gender, he's a male. And then years of experience. So this right here could be how many years has he been in NFL. So let's do this, Mike Tomlin. I don't know if whatchamacallit can do that or not, so let's see. All right, so he's been as a coach since 95. So that's, I've been out of high school since 1995, so that's a long period of time. So that's what, 2005, 2015, 25 years. Wow. All right, cool. So he's been around for a little bit. So years of experience, 25. Is he full-time? Hell yeah, he's full-time. Sure. Comma, and then we'll do this right here. And then what we'll do is we'll add other names. I'll just copy and paste it. I'm not going to write the code again. So we'll just paste in, we'll paste. And so let's add other employees of, we'll put A. Rooney, Art Rooney. Oops. And we'll do A. Rooney. I don't know how old Art Rooney is. He's probably like 68, I'd say. He is 60. Wow, I got lucky on that one. 68. And he's a male, and he has probably, we'll say 40 years experience. And the last person, let's do a player, Juju. And Smith Schuster. Is that how you spell his name? Schustr. Oh, jeez. Is that it? No. I butchered it again, probably. Yeah. Let's just copy it. Don't need to know everything here. All right, cool. Maybe I did that right. All right, cool. So we'll put Juju, and he's what, 20? God, I think he just turned 23 today. 24. Such a young man. All right, so 24, male. He has 4 years experience. Perfect. Perfect. Let's save that. All right, so we have some test data that we can use, which is perfect. So let's add up. Let's open the console. We make sure you save it first. That would be the first important thing to do is save her up. I'll close that. And refresh the screen. And when you refresh it, go over here and choose inspect. And choose console. And Firebase is not defined. Shoot. All right, so there's something that we forgot to do. Actually, I don't know if we even did it. So let me go back to wine employees. Did we grab... There was a part that we had to grab some data, and I bet I didn't grab it. All right. I bet I missed it when I was going through all this stuff. Could be wrong. I'm going to go back. I don't know if it'll even be back there still. All right, let's go to project overview real quick. You know what? I want this. So click on web. I didn't register an app. Forgot this part. Wine employees. Register app. Meant to tell you to do that. I hope this is our code. So I'm going to copy this script right here, which is something I should have did in the first place, and I forgot to. And make sure it's wine employees, Firebase. Yeah. All right, I think that's right. I hope it's right. go to Cloud Firestore. Yeah, one employees. Okay, cool. I had double check. Forgot to do that. So go over to index and let's zoom this out a little bit, guys. And what we need to do here is we need to insert this code under, let's see here, we have our heading, we have our custom styles. So probably right here. That's fine. Perfect. We also need to put some scripts in here, and I am going to show you because you're gonna need to put these in here. So I'm gonna paste this in here. Make sure you have these scripts. These are older scripts, but they'll work. Let's see, what else do I need? I think that is it. So let's save this real quick. It looks really big, but I hope that helps. And let's go out to index. All right, so some of that is good. All right. What did we miss here? Or did we miss anything? Well, we don't have an error message, so that's a good thing. Did we? Well, I think we changed it over here. So let's go over here and check the rules. Yeah, we changed it to rewrite, so that's good. Perfect. How to make sure. All right. All right, and we Googled it. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think we're good so far. Yeah, so that's good. So it didn't blow up, so that's fine. So let's do this real quick. Let's go over to data. All right, okay, so it did work. All right, so we went to the Firebase, and it does show that the data is there. So this right here, this document. So when you're referencing like a normal relational database, we're using some type of relationship. So we're using a primary key or a foreign key relationship. In this case, we're using a document, and this document is going to be a way that we link stuff together. Now, it's not exactly a relational database, but it's similar in some mannerism. So as you see here, a.rooney represents our employees is our document, and then our subsheet of that would be a.rooney. So when we reference it, we'll do a char and grab the first value, and then we'll grab the last value, Rooney, so that we could reference that name when we do like edits and creates and so forth like that. But as you see here, I could come in here and create a new document if I wanted to. We'll talk about that in a minute, but just to show you. All right, so let's do this here. Let's go back over here, and let's go back over initialize. And what we want to do is we want to do a couple things. We want to comment out this code. And the reason we want to do that is because that was a one-time thing. We're not going to be using it for now. So we want to make sure that it's commented out. And so when we load something in here, it doesn't get kicked off, okay? Because it won't work because you can only add the data one time, okay? So the next thing that we want to do here is load the data. So this will be loading the data. And so what we'll do here is we'll do employees reference dot get. Then we'll do a query snapshot. All right, shots. And then we'll do a callback, a postback right here. And we'll do query snapshot dot for each. So we're going to do a loop here for each document. And then we're going to do a callback here. Oops, there we go. And we'll do this. And now and what we're going to do right now is we're just going to write it to the screen. So when we pull it up in Chrome, we can see if it works. So we'll do a tick here, and we'll do $, the brackets doc.id to grab the ID. And we got our tick, and we have our comma, and there we go. So go ahead and save that. Boom, save it. Go over to index, run it, and there you go. So now what it's doing is it's pulling up. It's only pulling up the sheets right now. So our document sheet, which happens to be, let me move this over here. Yeah, it just so happens to be A.Rooney, M.Tomlin. So let's say that we wanted to add a new guy here, a new document ID, and let's say that we wanted to call it, actually, do we have all of them? I thought we had a third one. Did it not pick it up? Yeah, because we had Juju and it didn't pick it up for some reason. I'm not sure why. So let's add that in here. So maybe it's the way I had it. J dot, and then the field names are, let me cancel real quick. I would just have to add all these field names in. I'm just making sure. I'm gonna do a screenshot so I don't lose what I'm talking about. Ah, that's not gonna work. Forget it. Uh-oh. So anyways, I'm not gonna do this at the moment, but if I added a document, which is a real cool thing, you could do auto ID and have it automatically do it. So I should talk about this. So when you're creating the new document, you could do an auto ID. Then it creates this right here, which makes it difficult to program around it. So that's why we're creating our own ID, what we want that ID to be. So that's why I call it A.Rooney, M.Tomlin, and so forth. So if I create a new ID here, I would just add these fields and a value, and it would create it. And then once I pull the page up, it should show it as well. Okay. But anyways, as you see here, it does have this information here. It's pulling it from the initialize page, which is fine. That's what we want it to do. All right. What else? So as I mentioned, NoSQL concepts. Create. Next one we'll talk about is, well, we just talked about how to create a Firebase project, how to enable Firestore. We set up our development environment. We initialize the cloud store. We have something up and running. I showed you the Firebase console and how you can manually add values in there as well. And it'll still, you know what, let's just go back and do it. Hell with it. So let's go into documents. Let's say, let's do here, actually gonna do someone else. I can't think of his name. Yeah, so let's do Chase. He seems to be the new guy. Our new chooser, or Juju. So we'll do Claypool. We'll do, let's see here. What do we want? Give me a second. We'll do age, which is a string. In this case, we'll do age. I think I don't know how old he is. Let me see. Is he old enough? 22, okay. He is 22, perfect. So age is 22. So let's add another field. We'll have email. We'll have Claypool at Steelers.com. Boom. We will have his first name. And that is Claypool, so that's Chase, I think. Last name, Claypool. What else we have here? First name, last name. Let's see. Oh, we have is full time, so that's a Boolean. So let's say is full time, and that's a Boolean. And we'll say yes. And then we need to have years of experience. And that's a string. So let's do years of experience. And we'll just say 1 because he's a rookie. So did we get everything? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like we're forgetting something. Gender. So we'll do gender. And we'll just say, let's see, how's the gender one? It's just a string, yeah. Male. Perfect. Hit save. And now we have Claypool 22. It does everything. Make sure it's right. Email. Oops. First name. Gender. Okay, cool. So now let's go back here and refresh it. And there you go. Now we have Claypool because we added him from the database standpoint versus adding him from the initialized file. And we're pulling information back from NoSQL. Pretty cool. All right. That right there will complete this second video. So the next video, we'll talk a little bit about we'll get into a couple of different things. I'm just trying to see what we'll get into. We'll start talking about data models a little bit, data structures, data types. We'll talk a little bit about that, more about the collection information. And then later we'll also get into indexing for every query. We'll talk about automatic indexing, manually, etc. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.